It is the Riot Podcast, the Monday, August 30th edition. I'll try to include even the
date.
The date. There's no chance I can remember it most times. But
I know some of you guys listen, daily. You try to hit the one for the day, or some of you will listen months later.
Yeah.
And you ask us about things and we don't remember.
Yeah, it actually is helpful. I know you can check the date of when it was posted, but maybe it is if you're listening through old podcasts, it'll be helpful for us to include the date so that you have some context of remember, you could even go back historically, oh yeah, I remember when that was a news story, and then you would know. But I think we're giving people a lot too much credit of how much they're listening and how much they care.
Well, anytime you have a question or you do want to comment, even if it's an older podcast, we do not mind at all. You're welcome to text 877 to RadioU and just put that you're a podcast listener and your name and whatever question you have, or just to say hi.
Yeah. Now let's speed this up because I got
chop everybody.
I got a pot pie with my name on it as soon as we're done with this.
Hudson's been looking forward to a breakfast, and he comes in, he's like, I'm just going to make a pot pie.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's just one of those mornings. I don't know if I had an early dinner last night or something, but I've been starving. I haven't eaten anything. I don't have anything for breakfast, and we don't really have anything breakfasty in the break room for me that's calling my name.
Besides the cereal and the Pop-Tarts?
Yeah.
So I was thinking, we have cereal and we have Pop-Tarts out there.
I don't have milk for the cereal.
Breakfasty, Isaiah.
No.
I don't have milk for the cereal. And the Pop-Tarts, I'm not in for the Pop-Tarts. I also saw we have oatmeal cream pie. So I've just had enough of those lately.
And remember, Michael has that box of breakfast sandwiches that he doesn't want.
Oh,
so
I didn't know about that.
Everybody. Yeah, it's the one.
He didn't tell me.
I think
you think that was intentional?
Well, I thought he said he told you, but it's the ones with the spinach.
Oh, well, I wouldn't want that either.
Okay, because he likes the other box. And he said, don't eat that box. And he said that a little bit strongly. So if you eat the other ones, but I'm too afraid to touch either of them at this point.
Yeah, you might pick the wrong one.
Might be the wrong.
Anything with spinach, count me out.
It's a no-go.
No.
Yeah, I'm not even going to take a chance. But
you enjoy your pot pie.
We have station pot pies that have just been sitting in there. They very well may be expired, but I'm going to give it a shot.
I think you're fine.
After the show. So
Isaiah, what's in the podcast today?
So we talked about how Bojangles is really trying to make their employees happy, but if you want to make money, then it might not be so happy.
Yeah.
Or if you want to make Hudson happy.
Yeah. See, I viewed it over the weekend as they're saying we're giving the employees a break. And since they're not paying them, I was like, no, you're giving the employees a suspension.
Yeah.
Is what you're doing. So I don't know. Maybe I'm probably a little too hard on them because, again, I think I say it when we actually talk about it. I think their heart's in the right place at Bojangles. I just don't know that giving the employees a forced day off, if the employees appreciate that as much as Bojangles thinks.
Well, listen and decide.
Yeah, you hear the facts for yourself. See what you think.
We also talk about a truck tractor pull. So if you're into a good old county fair, you're going to love this story.
Man.
If you like lawnmowers, get ready.
We have to have... we have certain things of content we have to hit, and today we didn't hit hot dogs, so instead we had to hit lawn mowing.
That's right.
Yes.
It's in there.
We also talked about how Pop-Tarts are in trouble. Not only because Hudson isn't feeling them, but because some other people are upset about their ingredients.
Yeah.
If this lawsuit works out, then, Pop-Tarts will just get more expensive.
Way more expensive.
We'll all get a little tiny check if we want, like 25 cents for all the harm that Pop-Tarts has caused us by lying about their products.
While the lawyers and the firm get so much money.
And also, you'll want to listen because the lawsuit is interesting, but I think my strategy for determining a Pop-Tart that's
genius.
Nikki and I each have very different strategies of how to determine what a Pop-Tart is when it's in the foil, but you don't have the box.
Okay.
And
I didn't say it on air, but actually what I would sometimes do is I would open it up and our boss takes half of everything. He's just notorious for it. So sometimes I would put like a half in two baggies so it looked like someone else opened it and just left half there.
That was you doing that the whole
time?
Wait, where did you get the second baggie?
I would just put another one in another baggie so it looked like he opened up the wrong ones all the time.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that horrible?
So I've been blaming our boss this whole time when it was really you.
Someone needs to teach him not to do that.
Yeah, right.
This is the way to learn.
That's
Man.
right. I'm teaching him a lesson.
Hopefully he doesn't listen to this.
Oh, I think I'm fine. No one tell him, okay? I'm just putting the blame on him. Well, thank you guys for listening to the podcast. Enjoy. Hopefully everybody had a great weekend and you're going to have a great week.
Yep. And we'll talk to you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
The Riot Podcast.
RadioU.
Adam Sandler has this huge deal with Netflix where he just makes movies for them constantly.
I think it's an exclusive thing or something.
Yeah, I don't know if it's...
And they make money for Netflix.
Yeah.
Everybody's like always wanting to dump on Adam Sandler, but his movies are always some of the most watched things for Netflix.
Yeah,
So
and
that's why they have it.
It makes sense because it's a name you know, and it's... I think a lot of times the movies that you can just kind of flip on mindlessly that
Lighthearted.
Right, yeah. You don't have to really invest a lot of attention in an Adam Sandler movie most of the time. Well, in his new movie, which is called Hustle, it's a basketball movie.
Yeah.
And Netflix, because they are in charge of it, like he wrote it and whatever, but they forced him to make a change. They wanted him to take out that a basketball star in the movie was from China.
Yeah.
They didn't want him to have China included in the movie.
It was supposed to be that he was going to find a player in China.
Yeah. Well, when you first hear, at least for us, I think, when you hear Netflix told Adam Sandler to take China out of his new movie, it makes it sound like
They're mad at China or something.
or no, that they want to protect. They want to not insult China because when literally every other movie studio, they're like, nope. Unless it's China is good, you can't have it in the movie. And even in this movie, it's China is good. But the reason that they want to take it out is because Netflix doesn't exist in China.
Oh, so they're
not able to get it.
They want to promote
they
it
wanted
better.
to promote. I don't know where they told him Latin America or Europe, I think.
So he changed it?
Yeah, so he changed it so that the basketball star, the up and comer or whatever that he finds, is actually not from China. Due to Netflix's request.
Does that make you feel better for Netflix? Or, because it's not like they're bowing down to the don't make fun of China in any way.
It makes me feel better than my initial perception when I saw the headline.
Like on the line from Adam Sandler to John Cena.
Yeah.
Where does this lie?
This is definitely better than John Cena. It makes me wonder if there's freedom for Netflix to really make fun of China if they wanted to.
Well, if there's a chance they could ever get into China, would they take it?
Yeah, then they would totally.
Or do they not ever want to?
No, they want to.
I'm sure there's so much money
even
with that.
if there was you initially think, well, maybe this means if there's a movie that would just totally lay into China or like, a spy movie where China was the bad guys or something, that Netflix would be the one that could take it. But then they probably still wouldn't because they want to be in China one day.
Not with Adam Sandler.
No. Yeah.
It stops there.
At least, I guess at least it's not what you thought it was.
Hey,
but still, they're doing it to try to promote Netflix in the other countries. So it's all about money at the end of the day, either way.
So for Netflix, I did watch the Bob Ross documentary on Friday.
Yeah.
I watched 20 minutes and then I fell asleep because it was so boring.
It was boring.
Man, it was tough to
watch. So I made the good choice of...
Don't watch.
I logged into Netflix once over the weekend, and when I saw it,
you were tempted?
I just realized, I don't actually care very much.
Bob Ross or any of it.
No, I never watched Bob Ross.
It's really
hard. And I knew enough about the story after we talked about it on whatever day it was last week that I was like, that's not even that interesting. I don't really care.
Anybody watched it over the weekend and you were like, but wait, when it gets to 32 minutes, it's amazing. Like, let us know if I need to go back and start it. But it was just not any sort of topic that I cared about. So it was really hard to... As I showed you, because I fell asleep, I couldn't stay awake during
There's enough other things on Netflix for you to also not be interested in. You know what I mean? Like you could flip on all kinds of other things to fall asleep to. You don't need to give Bob Ross another chance.
I could find all the old Adam Sandler movies.
Yeah, there you
I could
go.
do that, but something about the Bob Ross documentary that was just too much.
It was too relaxing. It was too happy.
Too controversial.
It was bad enough the first time around, but now it's worse. Don't believe us? Just keep listening. You'll find out soon enough. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
So it wasn't a good week for this guy, and I want you to... The moral of the story is you shouldn't try to kidnap people. Why can't we learn?
Well, you think we would have learned when we were little.
Yeah.
And I'm sure one day someone told us, you're not supposed to do that when you get older.
Yeah. Well, some things you think don't even need to be said.
Right.
But maybe what I'm thinking is, punishment isn't always a deterrent, but I think maybe this punishment might be a deterrent. So it was a guy in Tennessee. A woman was out walking her dog, and she was on a dog trail, so kind of isolated. So this guy approaches her, asking if she has any water or something like that, trying to make her let her guard down a little bit. And he gets close enough to her that he starts to grab her arm, start trying to, kidnap her in some way. And she manages to escape by shoving the dog poop from her dog in his face.
Oh, it's that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I wondered when I read this story or I heard about it. So does it mean, was the dog poop in the dog poop bag? Does that mean she had to open it up and then smear it? Or where did this happen and how did this happen?
It's not exactly all spelled out.
Was it on the ground
specifically,
still?
But I wonder if maybe when you pick up your dog poop, right? Maybe he just had really bad timing.
Could be.
Maybe she had just happened to stop to pick up the dog poop, and that's when he approached. So, because when you pick it up and it's kind of in your hand, but in the bag, and then the bag's. So maybe she just kind of quickly was able to get the bag inside out and smush it in his face.
This says that she was carrying a bag of her dog's poop, which, you just have to be quick with this stuff.
Something tells me this is more effective than pepper spray.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You got to get closer, I feel like.
Yeah, that's true.
If I pepper sprayed someone, I feel like at least I didn't have to be touching them.
Yeah.
And then you also have to probably touch the dog poop. So there is that negative, but for your safety, go ahead.
There's a good difference, though, between dog poop on your hand and dog poop in your face.
Right.
And that's what will be the difference maker, I think.
I'd be open up. Yeah. Shove it in his mouth, up his nose.
Yeah.
Oh,
say,
so bad. I know. Here we go.
So kudos to her for the quick thinking.
Good
Unfortunately,
job.
that she had to go through with this creep, but at least she was able to make an escape. And apparently, the good news is they did catch him much later, but he had come back after the dog poop incident and had found her shortly thereafter and started chasing her again.
Oh my God!
So this guy was determined.
Guy's problem?
I don't know. I was disappointed too when you see his mugshot. No dog poop involved.
Well, they probably cleaned him up.
Yeah.
So he's been charged with aggravated robbery, aggravated kidnapping.
Somebody recognized him at a gas station, and that's how they caught him.
Oh, when they were looking for him?
Yeah. So maybe he's known around the area.
Store at room temperature? Now that they can do. The Riot RadioU.
Well, if you're headed to Bojangles for breakfast this morning, stop.
So Bojangles is a fast food place.
Yes.
Mostly, I think, in the South.
Yep. I think only in the South.
The Bo only Jangles. In the
below the Mason-Dixon line. Yeah. And so they actually, they're a chicken place, but they are known kind of, I think, for their breakfast, because I did go to Bojangles for the first time ever when I was in Gatlinburg, and their biscuit was what was exciting. The chicken was just fine, but the biscuit was oh, this is a good biscuit.
So is it like a Popeyes, just only chicken? Or
Yeah, only chicken.
Only chicken.
And so they do fried chicken, and then they have chicken sandwich. You can get a chicken sandwich, which I think is new, but then for breakfast, they have cinnamon biscuits, blueberry biscuits, and then you can also get your chicken biscuits for breakfast.
That's great.
Yeah,
good for them.
I want to try the breakfast chicken biscuit, but they are closed today, and they are also going to be closed 2 weeks from today. All of the Bojangles, at least all of the company-owned locations. For franchise locations, it's a little different. But for the company-owned locations, they are closing today, closing 2 weeks from today. 2 days only. They say it's to give their employees a well-deserved break.
So you get a day off?
You get a day off.
Are you getting a paid day off?
No.
Okay, so it's just, is that as exciting?
No. In fact, you could argue it's actually an inconvenience.
That's forcing them to not take a day of pay.
I'll be honest with you. I saw this on Saturday, and I got, actually a little upset.
Oh, you did?
I did. I was like, that's not...
That's not how you do it.
Listen. It's one thing because of course all kinds of restaurants, and not even restaurants, just all kinds of companies, we have a labor shortage right now, right? It's hard for them to get people to work. well, that's fine. And so if the reason you're closing is because maybe your employees are getting a little burned out or whatever, like it's one thing if you do need to close the stores, but don't make it seem like you're doing the employees a big favor.
Sure.
It's not really a favor if you're not paying them to not come to work.
Well, I get what they're saying with this. So if you think of it this way, they say that because they have such a labor shortage, employees that they do have had to work a lot of overtime. So they're trying to cut back and give them a break from their overtime hours.
Yeah, that's nice.
So that's a little better. If they were cutting into just their hours, that's bad. But instead, they are going to have the closure today and then on September 13th so that they're not asking employees to do any overtime.
Yeah, well, it's good that you don't want to have to force people to work overtime, but what they're also saying is they're not paying people. And so it just really bothers me. If employees would like to make up the hours later in the week, they're welcome to. And that's probably the phrase that really gets me. It's like, if we're giving you a day off, but if you want to work more, we could still do that for you.
Well, I normally see the other ones where they're closed for like training and stuff.
Yeah.
Or what did Subway do? Where they like, let's put the new menu up, and they close or they clean or they make sure everybody's on the same page of what we do and do not do. And so you would get paid for that day because you were still a part of like training.
Yeah.
This isn't the same.
Yeah, not the same. It's in a way, it's definitely good. And I believe for sure that for Bojangles, their heart is in the heart of Bojangles is in the right place. But maybe just the messaging of it we're giving all the employees a day off. We're not paying them for it. We're forcing them to take a day off. It just feels a little off.
Anybody ever work at Bojangles? Do you get free biscuits? Do you get free food? Is it a discounted situation?
Is that worth it?
Oh, man, you could pay us in biscuits. We'd be fine.
Yeah. And we'll take a day off. I just don't want to have to work Saturday to get the day off.
But we still want more biscuits.
Yeah. Biscuits and a day off. We'll take it.
That sounds perfect.
But this is a good negotiation we just had.
I don't know if that was actually good on our end. But we'll take it.
If you're looking for hot takes on the day's most important news stories, you're in the wrong place. You're listening to The Riot on RadioU.
If you're missing a large chunk of frozen chicken wings, it's at the baggage claim.
Oh, I'm like, how are we missing it?
Yeah.
I don't understand. Did I not eat it with dinner?
It seems that it was that the tag must have fallen off. So that's why they're wondering who this big chunk of chicken came from.
And is it a baggage, like on the baggage claim?
Yeah.
The carousel?
So, have you seen the video?
I've not.
The TSA posted it. It looks like it was was it actually in Seattle at the airport there?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So it is the TSA, the Seattle airport. It's a picture, video from the baggage claim, the carousel. And in between all the suitcases is just a giant.
It's a block of chicken wings.
When you have a thing of chicken wings in the freezer and you take it out and they're all frozen together, and that's this in a very actually perfect square.
They say that at one time they were in a cooler, and then sometime when they got between the baggage claim and the carousel, they said they became free range. Dude, you need to be wiping down the carousel after that.
That is salmonella risk, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, so they, I don't know if they've wound up, because this was over the weekend, I don't know if they wound up finding who the chicken belonged to.
Well, you can't take it at that point.
Well, you wouldn't want to eat it, would you?
No, but chicken wings are expensive.
They are.
If you wash it off. And I'm sure a lot of the bad stuff cooks out, so you're fine.
You know what sucks, though?
What?
It is among all of those other suitcases, you pick up your suitcase from the baggage claim, and you're like, why is this kind of like vaguely wet and smells like chicken? What's going on here?
What are they doing in the bag?
Yeah, and it turns out you didn't realize, but your bag was sharing a baggage claim with the chicken wings.
Yeah, I follow. I think what's the network that does like Hoarders and a few other.
A&E, I
think.
That's it.
I follow that on YouTube, and they'll always send out like these old airport shows from TSA or like international TSAs. And they're always like, hey, you have to declare if you bring in, because if you go from country to country, you have to not bring in food items.
Oh, right.
Because there's a lot of things that they don't want, fruit and stuff.
Yeah, and mad cow disease.
And they're
stuff
always showcasing, there's the ones where they're like, here, this is made out of drugs. And they're trying to sneak in. And the others are like, do you have any food to declare? And they're like, no. And then they go and they're like, you have a whole chicken thing, or why do you have all this food in this? And you're like, why would you bring all this stuff in an airplane? Like, would it be okay to travel with all this meat? And they're like, oh, you mean we weren't supposed to?
Yeah, I guess sometimes you don't know. But then again, why are you bringing it and trying to almost smuggle it in a way?
Pretty much.
With this, you do wonder, why was somebody flying with just a big chunk of chicken wings?
Again, it's expensive. So maybe in one state, chicken wings are not as bad.
Yeah, they got a deal.
And they got a
at
deal.
Costco.
They knew a guy.
Yep.
They put it in the cooler and they tried to fly to Seattle.
I wonder if Seattle, that would be an international airport. Maybe it's coming in from somewhere else.
Who knows?
And maybe maybe they're smuggling it in because it's a lot cheaper in India or something to get the chicken into the country.
I love chicken wings, but when you look at uncooked chicken, it is gross.
It does make you question, doesn't it?
It makes you wonder, why do I love it once it's cooked?
Yeah.
And slathered in sauce. What about that changes?
Yeah. Once Bojangles gets their hands on it, it's just something changes.
Once it's crispy and fried, I'll do anything for it.
It doesn't matter if what baggage claim it took a turn on.
Just wash it off.
It'll taste fine.
2 is better than 1.
Unless we're talking about The Riot.
The Riot, RadioU.
Last night was a big boxing match that I missed out on.
When did you miss out? Because you thought, Isaiah will watch it.
In a way, I knew he was on vacation, and I didn't even know, because he had gone to Gatlinburg, and I didn't even know if he was for sure going to be in today.
To watch,
but still, I was like, it's too late for me, and I still haven't watched one of these Jake Paul fights. So, or does the other one fight still too, Logan?
Yeah,
they both fight. So
who was the one who did the last one?
The last one was Logan.
Logan Paul.
Was it?
Okay, so now this is the other
Jake,
one.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
need to do something more to differentiate each other from themselves.
You mean the different first name is not enough?
That's not enough. No, they look the same to me.
They act
and
the
they
same.
do all the same things, it seems. So.
I get you there.
So last night was Jake Paul against, now tell me, Isaiah, if you know, Tyron, is it Tyron or Tyrone Woodley?
I don't know if it's Tyron or Tyrone.
And do you know who that is?
I do know who it is, though.
You do?
Yeah. He used to be an MMA fighter. He fought for 12 years.
Was he good?
He was really good.
Don't
but
say was.
He was really good, but now he's a lot older now. He hasn't done it in a while.
Oh, okay.
And he's not a boxer either. So it's just completely different.
Yeah, because I was seeing, so the spoiler alert is Jake Paul won.
Yeah.
He won by a split decision. And I saw the reaction on Twitter is like, whoa, this is so impressive. He's 4-0. He beat Tyron Woodley, and apparently that's impressive. And I've never heard of Tyron Woodley or Tyrone, however you say it. So I don't even know if it is impressive or if we're still just doing this thing where people want to seem cool by making these Jake Paul fights seem like a real thing.
Well, the Tyron was a former UFC welterweight champion.
Maybe I've heard the name before, but the only context I have is this fight.
Well, it seems like if you're one of the Paul brothers, you find an older fighter, maybe not necessarily in the boxing world, but who is still athletic. I mean, they're way better than probably any of us would ever be.
Yeah.
And then they fight them as long as they're a certain age difference.
Why don't we just cut to the chase? Why don't they just fight each other?
Oh, the brothers?
Yeah.
It's only a matter of time.
It is, right?
They have
but
to
neither,
at some point.
I feel that in all of these fights, and the Floyd Mayweather one was the one that really blew the lid off of the conspiracy, is that they're not, and boxing has this issue, or at least it's part of the perception of boxing, is that it's not real fights that are really cooked up to find a real winner. It's all about protecting the record. So they're not actually finding fights that are going to be real challenges where they have a real chance of losing.
Sure.
It's either they have somebody that they know they're going to beat, or somebody that they have an agreement with of like, hey, I'm going to win this one, right? Wink, wink. Or at least with Floyd Mayweather, where it could be a tie. And so it's all about neither of them losing in a way. They would never take a fight that they have a real chance of losing. And so if they fight each other, one of them has to lose. So that would kind of throw everything. it would. They'd make a lot of money doing it. I bet.
They'd make a ton of money.
Yeah.
And like for the fight last night too, like Jake Paul. This is another thing that's been happening. They aren't fighting boxers, and then they also are fighting people that are much smaller than them.
Okay.
Because Jake is 6'1", 190 pounds, where Woodley was 5'9", 170 pounds. And even just the height difference in boxing, like the reach of like how much longer his arms are than Woodley's is like insane.
He's my height.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't mean I can box him.
Yeah. No, we'd be at a disadvantage against anybody.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard because they're athletic. You at least got to give them that, or they're trying.
Yeah. There's a lot of training that goes into it for sure. It's not like they're out there faking it.
I know, but before all the YouTubers got into boxing, I used to think wrestling, like all that used to be the fake stuff.
Yeah.
Of just put together.
Yeah.
I did not realize boxing had so much orchestrated. Before, so you just never know when it's real or not.
Yeah, and we just used to. I guess you could say the good thing about this is it's getting some people interested in boxing, maybe especially people that wouldn't normally. So for boxing, it's a win because let's be honest. What are the odds that we'd be talking about boxing on the show pre-Paul brothers?
Sure,
it would have to be like a super massive like Mayweather Pacquiao fight, and I don't even know who the names would be now where we would get talking about it. So at least we're talking about boxing on the show, and people are paying per view to view the boxing matches with the Paul brothers. So I guess that's something, but it doesn't mean that, I don't know. It
doesn't mean I like it.
It still doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel like a real sport like the other ones we like to watch.
Not at all.
So I guess we'll see whatever fight they come up with next.
Yeah.
And we probably won't like that either.
If they fight somebody I've heard of, I'm all in.
That's a big step forward, isn't it?
A big step.
You might be thinking that this won't be quite as bad the second time around. Well, you'd be greatly mistaken. You're listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
You ever been to a tractor pull, Nikki?
A tractor pull? Is that where the two cars race each other? Like the really loud ones?
Yeah. And usually they have to pull, like there's actually weight behind them they have to pull to see if how strong their engine is.
Is that the same as like the two cars and then the big parachute pops out of the back?
That's a drag race.
That's a drag race.
Yeah, that's drag racing.
I don't know if I've been then to the other.
Well, oftentimes, this is a lot more country. Because it's like trucks or tractors that are going to be pulling the big metal sled. And then oftentimes those will be alongside, like at the same event, you'll also see demolition derbies.
Pig races.
Yep, sure. And truck drag races.
I don't think I've seen that.
So we have here, it's called, the place is called Laura's Truck and Tractor Pulls.
Nice.
In Walnut Port, Pennsylvania.
And they had one?
They had one over the weekend, but what happened surprised the crowd, I would say, and is now surprising us online. Because, not only did they have the tractor pulls, but they also had the truck drag races. Except they had this one guy roll up to the truck drag races in a little lawnmower.
It's a lawnmower, but the other car's a truck.
Yeah.
And the lawnmower?
And the lawnmower absolutely just, boat races him.
Well, is that because he's lighter?
That's what I'm wondering.
It goes faster than the truck.
Obviously, the engines are modified a bit, and especially for the lawnmower, apparently it's an 1100cc Suzuki engine.
I don't know what that means, but it seems fast.
It's not typical for a lawnmower. I think we both can agree on that in our limited lawnmower knowledge.
Sure.
Nikki's a little more limited than I.
Yours. I'll take your word for it. It does feel
Although she does watch lawn mowing YouTube, so
I do. I just want to feel like I'm a part of things.
Just not the engine modification section of lawnmower YouTube.
It feels like it's very souped up.
Yeah, it definitely is. Doesn't it go onto two wheels, or did?
I think
a lot of times that happens.
Well, yeah, it lifts up in the front, so
yeah.
it's just the back wheels. Wow, what a lawn! Can you imagine doing your actual yard in that thing?
You'd get done so quick.
It wouldn't take any time at all.
No, but it probably wouldn't cut the grass very effectively either.
Probably not. It probably burns it.
Yeah, yeah. I don't. And taking curves, I don't think this is just a straight line.
I also I'm just more of the bigger picture thing. I look and you can see maybe 5 people watching. It doesn't seem like it's very busy.
Yeah.
But maybe they're higher up in the stands.
That's all the people that are in Walnut Port, Pennsylvania. That's what you didn't realize.
Racing.
Man, this looks so fun, though. I want to go back to to get out into the country, to get with my people, and to go see a tractor pull and some lawnmower drag races.
You have a lawnmower. I think this is now your new thing.
Yeah. Well, I have a push mower, so
I could see you still getting out there.
That'd be a whole different race, wouldn't it?
It just pulls you so
fast. They do make self-propelled lawnmowers, so I used to have one. Mine now is not, but man, that'd be something. Your feet are flapping in the air.
And, we all are looking for like a project.
Yeah.
Just something to take some time. So we're not just watching shows all the time. This could be your thing.
This is, I want to see this guy's YouTube channel to see how he got this. The truth is I don't, because I don't know anything about cars or engines or anything. So I wouldn't get anything out of it, but I would totally, I would like to see more videos of him racing.
I can find some.
And hang out with the people at that race, because I bet you they're a fun crowd.
So that's Laura's Truck and Tractor Pull.
In Walnutport, Pennsylvania.
We got a lot of Radio U listeners in Pennsylvania. So let us know where that is.
See if you can.
And they host truck drag races, junk car races, demolition derbies.
That's what I love, the demolition derbies.
And this one, lawnmower beat out in a drag race against a truck.
Let's see, Walnutport, Pennsylvania. It's really in the middle of nowhere there in the mountains. So
everything you love about the Riot, plus a handy dandy fast forward option. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Pop-Tarts. They have less strawberry in them than you think.
Well,
according to this woman, anyways.
Less strawberry? You mean in the strawberry flavor?
Yeah.
Well, who's doing the research on that?
Yeah, who really thought there was any?
Who cares enough?
Yeah.
Who was eating the strawberry ones?
I don't know. I mean, we always have the boxes of the strawberry, and somehow eventually they go away.
We don't have the box of strawberries. We have the box of the strawberry and the brown sugar ones.
Oh.
But they don't put the name on which ones.
Yes.
So it's just like a big gamble as to which packet do you pick.
You ever do the Pop-Tart? I consider it like Pop-Tart Braille.
Oh, to figure out which one it is?
Try to feel the texture of you've never done that?
No, I have opened it up, and then what I've done is if I pick the wrong one, I put it in a baggie so it looks like someone just had half of one or something.
Oh, really?
And I'll go open another one. I'll try it.
How many do you open, though?
I only give it one more chance.
See, you got to do the Pop-Tart Braille.
And figure it out.
It's not foolproof, for sure. Especially because what we have now in the break room is, for some reason, there's Pop-Tarts that they're not strawberry. They are some kind of berry.
We don't know.
They feel the same on the top through the package. And they taste fine. I eat them, but I don't know what they are. I can't identify them. So, it's not foolproof because some Pop-Tarts feel the same on the top. But you can tell the difference between the brown sugar and the strawberry.
I just wish we had a cookies and cream or some sort of...
Or the fudge one, the chocolate
something
fudge.
Besides the generic, here's the party pack and it's only two parties.
Yeah.
The strawberry and the brown sugar
There's
one.
a good party and a bad party.
So someone was mad about the strawberry one?
Yeah, so this woman, her name is Anita Harris. She's from Illinois. And she has filed a lawsuit against Kellogg's, the maker of Pop-Tarts, because she says they are misleading consumers regarding the ingredients in the strawberry Pop-Tarts. Mm-hmm. She says that the advertising, the packaging, the promotional content leads consumers to believe that there's more fresh strawberry than there actually is.
Well, fresh is a strong word. I don't know if we thought that.
Strawberry.
So what is it?
Well, she says, let's see, in the class action lawsuit, which would apply to anybody that has ever purchased Pop-Tarts for home use, not for resale. So that could apply to us here at Radio U. She says what her claim is that, let's see, the benefits from strawberries cannot be provided by strawberry flavor, which refers to compounds extracted from strawberries used solely for taste without their nutritional value.
So they're marketing strawberries like, hey, you're getting nutritional stuff from these fresh strawberries, when really we only eat strawberry flavoring, which has nothing nutritional-wise in it.
But the truth is, I guess what she's getting at is, there's technically strawberries used to make Pop-Tarts, but they're not taking the nutritional part of strawberries. They're just extracting the flavor out of them without extracting any of the nutrients, and that's her issue.
We weren't thinking there was fresh.
Yeah.
And we also didn't think there was any nutritional value at all.
Yeah. But what is the thing that always comes up with I see it when they're talking about like the voting machines and the fraud and whatever.
Yeah.
And so when like some of the people that are getting sued by the voting machines, they're like, well, no reasonable person could have actually believed this, right? That's the argument Pop-Tarts could use. No reasonable person would really think that there were strawberries in these, right?
Well,
no reasonable person.
They cover too, it feels like whoever the lawyers are for the Kellogg's lawsuit against them and strawberries and Pop-Tarts, it feels like you could just literally lift the word strawberry and Pop-Tart and put in tuna and Subway. And it's a copy and paste lawsuit.
Maybe it's the same lawyers.
It could be.
They have experience.
I feel like it feels like the same law firm that's involved in both of those.
Yeah, well, either way, the strawberry, they're certainly not going to be our favorite, but even if they don't have any strawberries involved at all, it's not going to stop us.
Might not be our favorite flavor, but it's still a Pop-Tart, and that's still fine.
And once you open the package, you got to do something with it. Once you realize it's not brown sugar cinnamon.
No, you go around the building and say, hey, does anybody want a Pop-Tart? I opened up the wrong one.
The worst podcast with the best listeners. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Welcome back, Isaiah, after a quick trip to Tennessee.
I feel like everybody else is going to like the beach and stuff. And
Yeah.
why is everybody in this room going to Tennessee for
I don't
their
know.
Going to Gatlinburg.
We're country bumpkins. That's where we fit in.
What is everybody going to do for spring break?
Yeah, I don't know.
Where are we going?
We're going to
Kentucky, baby.
the Ozarks, maybe.
Oh, you're going there. So last weekend, Hudson went on vacation, and then you went for something this past weekend to the same place, but you said you didn't see any bears when you were there.
No, like I didn't see any animals at all. At all.
Not
And
a single animal.
We were in a cabin on like a mountain, and I literally didn't see anything.
Wow.
No wildlife whatsoever. And we were at the cabin for the majority of the time we were there. We had like cornhole and pool and stuff that we were playing, just kind of hanging out.
No bears.
And no bears. And we talked about it multiple times.
Yeah.
Because it said like there was the signs, like the bear crossing and whatnot. But like if we run into a bear, like what's the game plan? You got to have one of those talks. But we didn't see anything.
I almost sent you on Friday. I saw a TikTok of a guy, I think he was around that area, and he was getting into his car, and he was just, his body, like his head was in the car just rummaging around, and this little bear comes up behind him and starts licking his leg.
Oh, no.
And the guy's like, shoo bear, shoo bear. And I thought, oh my gosh, what's that? What is that?
Yeah, I know. It's me. I was licked by the bear.
Yeah, you're like, bring one home.
So, did you let your friends know that you went with that they could have just played pool and cornhole and not seen bears here?
Yeah, I know.
You didn't have to go all the way to Gatlinburg to do that.
And it was a bachelor party, so it was like a real like fun thing that we were trying to do.
Yeah.
But really, we could have done the exact same thing, like
Without the trip.
without driving very far.
Well, so what did you actually wind up doing besides cornhole and pool?
Did you eat at the
Did you go to
pancake
Dollywood?
place?
What we literally didn't. We went out to eat at a Mexican restaurant there. And that
Okay.
was just okay. We went to we tried to go to like a super nice like steak restaurant.
Yeah.
But the wait was like 2.5 hours.
Oh, yeah.
And so we waited for like an hour, and then we were like, because no one could decide to do anything whatsoever. We waited there for like an hour, and then all of a sudden we were like, you know what? Let's just go somewhere else. So then we wasted an hour there, and then we went, and then we're like, let's just go to this like little Mexican restaurant that like was good, but there was just like not a lot of plans. So we spent a lot of time at the cabin, just kind of hanging out, which was super fun though.
See, that's the difference. I mean, obviously you had a different crowd, but for me, when I go on vacation, I overplan a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's not, I squeeze so much stuff into my trip to Gatlinburg, but
You
then
ate so much more.
there was only two of us, and maybe a little more cohesive than a bunch of.
I mean, Isaiah should have been like the one annoying friend in the group, be like, but did I tell you that Hudson tried this?
Yeah.
Let's go here. Hudson did this.
We haven't
Hudson
even
did
seen
that.
the aquarium yet, guys.
Did you go on the ski lifts?
Yeah.
Like, did you do any of that?
No, we talked about taking up to the bridge, like the sky lift or whatever.
Yeah.
We didn't do it because whenever we would leave
You're not going to
somewhere,
get any Instagram followers from this trip.
No, whenever we would leave like one thing, it would take us like a half an hour to discuss what we were going to do next. And there was like 11 of us. So like half the group was like, let's play laser tag. And then the other half was like, how about putt-putt? And then let's do the sky
Again,
lift.
all things you can also do here.
Exactly. And so then they were like, how about we did the sky lift? And then we end up just picking one and just kind of going with it.
Yeah.
But it was so much fun though.
Yeah,
fun.
it sounds like it.
It was great. It was great, okay?
Dude, you didn't eat at any of the places we wanted you to eat at, and you didn't see any bears. It's a wash.
So the Mexican place, was that the most noteworthy restaurant you ate at? Nothing good?
No, that was the only, I think that was the only restaurant. No, we ate at that. We ate at the Mexican restaurant, and then we ate at a seafood restaurant.
Oh,
okay.
Seafood?
Oh, yeah, because Gatlinburg's known for their seafood.
That's what the Bachelor wanted.
Did you at least get catfish or something?
Well, I got fish and chips is what I got. But he was like, let's do seafood. I was like, this seems kind of, it was for lunch. I was like, that's kind of a heavy lunch. We're walking around all day. Yeah. It's super hot out. So after we left there, we were all just sweating like crazy.
That's hilarious. You go to Gatlinburg and you get Mexican.
And seafood. Yeah.
And you don't do any of this
stuff.
stuff.
That kind of sums up the indecisiveness of the entire trip. The lack of plan.
I want to point out that next vacation, Hudson is designing and going through because
open to plan.
You are planning it.
I'm going to get a second job as a AAA agent, and I will help you out.
Why pay for so many streaming services that you don't really care about when you can not really care about the riot for free? RadioU.
Murder hornets we're still talking about them.
Yeah.
And do you think that there's any actual, they keep popping up in the news. This is now the second year in a row we've been dealing with murder hornets, and they just every so often come up. And I feel like we shouldn't even acknowledge them anymore.
Well, it depends. It's always in Washington.
Yeah.
So if you're not in Washington, I don't know if there are murder hornets anywhere else.
Yeah.
Is it an actual thing? But if you're in the Washington area, it seems like they are still a possible problem.
I guess what I'm wondering is if you are in Washington and so you could be in a murder hornet area, is that something that really concerns you?
Is it a worry for everybody?
Or do you even care? Because I just feel more and more that it's only because of the name that they're interesting. They're not even that dangerous, right? They don't kill people normally.
But they murder other bees.
Yeah.
So they murder other insects, and we still have a bee problem.
I know we need that, but we need bees around, and that's a concern. But
who will save the bees?
But that's not normally what we pay attention to in the news.
Sure.
is bee issues. We don't normally worry about.
I feel like though in the last couple of years we've had so much other news stories that they're just really wanting anything besides all that other stuff.
Yeah.
So when it came to cicadas, they were all over that.
Yep.
And then murder hornets are it fills that insect void of the news story world. So they can just bring this back up every season.
It gives them something to write about. And so what happened here, the reason it's currently in the news is because 1,500 murder hornets have been murdered.
Oh, they killed them?
Yeah, they've been turned on themselves. Their own namesake has turned on themselves.
They're also known as Asian giant hornets.
Yeah, which I think is more accurate. And then if we saw that, I guess that's still kind of frightening, imagining a giant hornet. But our idea of giant and whatever the kind of person is that studies bugs' idea of giant is a little different.
They're all bad.
Yeah, but apparently in Washington State, they took out a big colony of the murder hornets. A whole nest that contained 1,500 hornets in various stages of development. And so I guess they're proud of themselves for that.
Oh my gosh. Why are the guys dressed like that?
Wait, what?
If you scroll down.
Oh my gosh.
Did you not see the picture?
No, I had.
What is that?
That looks.
It's like bee suits, but it's like neoprene.
Yeah.
Like scuba sort of
the
look
one
to it.
guy.
And it looks like a fish tank on their head.
Yeah. Does anybody remember in Monsters, Inc.?
Yes!
The SWAT team thing that comes in whenever there's a human interaction? It looks like those suits. It's just a different color.
What is it? Is it the pneumatic tubes? If you go to the bank,
pneumatic.
Yeah,
pneumatic.
If you go through the bank and you go through the drive-thru and it has the tube that sucks up, it looks like one of those, and the murder hornets are inside of it. I love this.
That is comic. Man, you just swap that out. You don't have a context for what this picture is, and that you could believe that it's from a Avatar movie or something.
Something sci-fi.
Or that it's actually humans on another planet or something. Man, that's really... that is an interesting suit for sure.
So again, if you're in the northern Washington area, murder hornet, it won't likely kill you ever. They say that if it stings you, it's really, really bad.
Yeah.
But otherwise, they just kill other bugs, and that's the problem. They kill bees.
Yeah. So, all right. Is this going to be it? The last time we talk about murder hornets?
Until next season.
No, let's just drop it.
Why? hey, what if you need, you're like, boy, Nikki, there's no other news out there.
Yeah, that, to be truthful, that's why we're talking about it now.
You're like,
there's not a lot going on.
I guess I'll talk about the murder hornets.
Yeah, we have to break up the food talk at some point.
At this point, let's not think about us talking about murder hornets. Mm-hmm. Let's think of it as us talking about the uniform they were wearing to kill the murder hornets.
The murder hornets are just a bonus.
That's right.
That's enough of that. For more Riot content, head to riot.radiou.com.